Too black, too black, too strong, too strong, too strong, too strong, too strong.
It's my life.
Okay, brother. Then let's do it right.
Rocking that beat from across the street. And Beat Street is a lesson too, because you can't let the streets beat you. Well, a picture can express 1,000 words to describe all the beauty of life you give. And if the world was yours to do over, I know you'd paint a better place to live, where the colors would swirl and the boys and girls can grow in peace and harmony, and where murals stand on walls so grand as far as the eye are able to see. I never knew art till I saw your face, and there'll never be one to take your place, cause each and every time you touch a spray paint can, Michelangelo's soul controls your hands. Then serenades of blue and red, and the beauty of the rainbow fills your head. Crescendo colors playing tune, man, why oh why you'd have to die so soon? Say it 1, 2, 3, 4, and just let me know what you came here for, and just clap your hands, everybody, and let me know that I'm not alone. And if you knew my man when he was alive, screaming out and say, Ramon, Ramon. I'm talking about ashes to ashes and dust to dust, where the good die young is all thy must, cause that life must live, death must die, and the tears shall fall from the living eye. Tell me who's gonna dream the impossible dream of the beautiful cities and the islands' dreams, when your works of art brought into being all that the ghetto stopped you from seeing. Still life urban masterpiece, your trademark was written on chains and walls, $1 million gift only God released, and yet you got killed for nothing at all. So after this there'll be no more hard times, no more bad times, and no more pain, no more chump change, none of that bull, just movies, museums, in the Hall of Fame. So all you hip hops, get on up and let's take it to the top where we belong, cause the age of the Beat Street wave is here. Everybody let's sing along, and come on and say ho, say ho.
Too strong, too strong, too strong, too strong, too strong.
All right, Too Black, Too Strong, Mega Blast, Asiatic Black in the building. It's one of my most favorite movies of all times right there, so I had to plug that. It's the intro to tonight's show, man. King's Corner, episode 19, honors actor and American roots musician Guy Davis, and he's actually backstage right now. So without further ado, I'm going to bring one of my most favorite movie actors and a musician, man, from a long time ago, man. We're going to talk a little bit tonight. Y'all can get to know him a little better. Mr. Guy Davis. Guy Davis, how you doing?
I'm doing okay, Dr. Asiatic Black. I'm doing good, man.
Man, that's a blessing, man. That's a blessing. So listen, man, I ain't gonna go through no long accolades and a whole lot of talk, man. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, man, and we're gonna conversate a little bit with the people. First of all, man, where are you from?
I was born in Manhattan. I live in Bronx, New York, and some of the places we shot that movie, I pass by from time to time.
Man, that's a good thing, man. I had Cosmo D on here last week, man, and we talked about that, man. And I told him the place they shot the video for the Nucleus song, man. I told him he needed to get over there and visit it, man. He said he hadn't been by there since they shot the video. But I'm glad to hear it, man. You still see those places, man. Have much changed as far as the neighborhood and that sort of thing since then?
Yes, my friend, stuff has changed. There used to be a lot more cops because they were chasing down a lot more drugs. It's hard to put. There was no easy way to phrase it, but the economics back 30 years ago, I moved here more than 30 years ago, it was a little rougher, and the cops really clamping down on the young folks and keeping down drug activity. That's what they're, trying to do. And nowadays you don't see it so much. And here we are in New York with legalized reefer, so I don't know what to say.
Well, I don't know if it's that on the good side or the bad side, man, but I'm glad, everything's okay with you, man, and your family and all of that. Briefly, I want to talk about, your upbringing, man, your childhood and that sort of thing, man. Where did you come up at? What part of this wonderful world did you come up?
I was raised up in Mount Vernon and New Rochelle, which is just a little north and east of the Bronx.
Okay. All right.
Went to Mount Vernon High School. No, excuse me. I was going to go to Mount Vernon High School, but then we moved. So I wound up going to New Rochelle High School. It's back in the late 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an upbringing in a showbiz family. That's Ossie and Ruby, my parents. So I got a chance to be backstage and see and meet actors back there. And I got a love for the theater. I got a love for films, all things that had to do with people speaking out, poetry, you name it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, man, how was it coming up, man, you got greatness all through your family, man. How was it coming up with Ruby Dee and Ossie Davis, man?
I don't have anything to compare that to. So you have to understand, I just know them as mom and dad. We went to public schools, my sisters and I, and we had, like everybody else, we were told to do the very best we could, always do our homework, and seek to be the best at whatever it is you do.
Right.
When I turned into a fresh mouth teenager, I discovered that my mom had hands faster than Bruce Lee. If you get upside my head before I could say stupid stuff. I mean, I'd be in the middle of saying it, she'd put out, and that was it. And dad was a different story. He's a big country boy. He'd kill you if he hit you. So, Dad, if you did wrong, you just had to stand there, look him in the eye, hold your hand up, palm up, and he'd take off his belt and he'd wham you in your hand so he could hurt you without harming you.
Right.
And that was an important lesson.
Oh, man. I just can imagine, man, being around that type of greatness, man, that's a good thing, man. And those, in case, as a matter of fact, just for a minute here, this is a theme from Do the Right Thing. And I'm also going to bless these people for those that don't know. We have some young ones, but, this is a very, very, I want to say, this is one of the most, people came up with this. So the young ones, I don't know if they know about it or not, but if y'all don't know, man, this is one of the movies here.
What did I tell you about drinking
his
in front of my
parents.
stoop? Move on, you're blocking my view. You are ugly enough. Don't stare at me. The evil eye doesn't work on me.
Mother, sister, you've been talking about me for 18 years. What have I ever done to you?
You're a drunk fool.
Besides that, the mayor don't bother nobody. And nobody don't bother the mayor, but you. The mayor just tend to his own business. I love everybody.
So that is Ossie Davis and Ruby Dee, and they just happen to be in the same movie, man. The Spike Lee movie called Do the Right Thing that came out back in the 80s. So this is a long time ago. And when did Mr. Ossie pass?
That'll be 2005, the month of
2005.
February.
Okay. All right. And Ruby, Miss Ruby?
She left in 2014.
Okay. All right. So people, if you don't know, man, those are those two greats, man, and they also have a great offspring here, Mr. Guy Davis, and we're going to be talking about him a little more, man. And coming up as a child, man, and getting reared right, man, what leaned you toward music or acting? How did that transpire?
It was in me. All I can say is that it was in me. And my parents did things, I think, behind my back that helped me get where I was going. When I was in, like, I think it was the 3rd or 4th grade in elementary school, in that school in Mount Vernon, you had to be in like the 5th grade, I think, to pick up an instrument. It was a year or two away from me. But my one of the teachers, the lady who taught the band and orchestra, called me into her classroom one day with my young self and had me go up in front of all those kids standing there with all them instruments onto the conductor's podium and let me conduct them. I didn't know nothing about conducting. I think maybe I was just caught up into the drama of it. In my mind, I was like, Beethoven, Black Beethoven. But she did this. And there's no way she could have known about it unless she hadn't been talking behind my back to my parents. Because my parents used to see me, I'd be thinking I was alone in the house. And some music would come on the radio, or we'd be playing a record, and I would be, doing the whole thing. So people made a way for me. I think that my parents were observant, and they tried to nourish me in any way that they could. And that's one way that worked. I kind of picked up theater and reading a little later. I was slow in my reading. And my dad, interestingly enough, he was so in favor of Black kids, especially Black boys, learning how to read, that he actually became a Sunday school teacher. So that on Sundays, we'd be having to sit down and read Bible verses. And my dad wasn't there so much trying to promote religion as he was trying to promote reading with Black young folks. So I hope that answers your question at least a little bit.
A lot of people, that's something a lot of people can learn from, man. Parenting is a real different thing these days. So that's a jewel that you just dropped, man. And then after that, you got up, I guess, I'm guessing around your teenage years, and how did that go? Did you get out on your own early? How did you get it?
Man, I was slow getting out on my own. I was too comfortable at home. I like to lay up, watch some TV. They had a pool table downstairs. I was trying to learn pool by myself. I think I was too comfortable. My parents probably should have put a foot on my behind and shoved me out the door, but they didn't. So I had a lot of leisure time to learn about people, about young folks my age. There was a theater group in New Rochelle that I joined they call it Westchester Young Actors Theater. And we even got to see people like Paul Newman, that actor, knew the lady who ran the group. So he came by and talked to us. And, my parents were always available. And I think that I went through a whole range of jobs, from factory worker to supermarket shelf stocker. And the best job I ever had, I was in, was I in my 30s? I guess I was in my 30s. I drove a taxi in New York City.
Wow.
And this was after I had made Beach Street too. So yes, I indeed was in my 30s. I learned a lot of things as I've gone. And I needed those lessons. I needed those jobs to teach me about people, about myself, about human nature, about courage, about when to ask questions, when to keep your mouth shut. So I think my parents handled it well. The fact that I wasn't in a rush to get up out the nest. I did obviously get out the nest, and I moved in with a woman and moved in with a group of folks, and then more acting. I think I belonged to about 6 acting groups in New York City, mostly up in Harlem, one downtown in the Village. So I've done an awful lot of this acting. and have loved it.
So when you first started, when you first got interested in acting, you went to school or whatever you did. How did you land the movie Beat Street? How did that come about?
Okay. I was in studying at the Strasberg Institute. That's down in the village. I was studying acting, and I was going on auditions for all kinds of stuff. And most of the plays would, that if you get in it, you'd be lucky if they pay for, a few meals. You wouldn't go nowhere in a play, not for long, especially without an agent. Well, I got an audition for Beat Street, and at this time I had a beard, longer than the one I got now. I was playing some Shakespeare piece. Mm-hmm. And so I wasn't going to shave that because I didn't figure I'm going to get this movie. So I might as well keep my beard for the play I'm in. So I came back audition after audition, and finally I got the thing. They said, there's one more thing you got to do. We think we like you, but you got to cut your beard. We want to see what you look like. So I took a leap of faith, and just like you showed that picture up there, I came out looking sort of like this. And so one bad chops. So I got Harry Belafonte was the producer of the film Beat Street, and he's close friends with my parents, him and Sidney Poitier. In fact, my parents and Harry and Sidney were at that point in the late 60s, just as the blaxploitation movies were getting ready to come out. They were busy raising money for Black filmmakers to produce work. And so I'm part of the continuum. Let's just say I'm part of the next generation of that kind of energy. Oh man, I see you got me. You shouldn't have started me talking. Now you have to shut me up.
Man, go ahead, man. I enjoy the history. All
right. What you just showed a little while back, the movie Do the Right Thing by Spike Lee, and my parents doing the mayor and mother's sister. A few years before that, Spike hadn't made it. And just after Beat Street, I got a job on the soap operas. I was in One Life to Live playing Dr. Josh Hall as a grown-up. When Josh Hall was a kid, he was played by Lawrence Fishburne. So, man, I got to meet all these people and interchange energy. And Spike had to meet the payroll to get this flick made. She's Got to Have It, which they even got a series of that now. But in the 80s, he needed some money. I had just gotten on that soap opera. That's when I was able, me, Lawrence Fishburne, and one of the person, we combined our money to to invest in Spike's movie. So all of this stuff, it comes home. It rolls over.
That is amazing, brother. And a lot of people didn't know that. And actually, I didn't know until I read your bio that Lawrence Fishburne was acting back then. I didn't know that. And I actually saw a picture of him when he was a kid.
Oh yeah, in that movie there was also he was on the stage, but I saw him in Apocalypse Now, the movie. But I'd seen him on stage too. What was it? Short Eyes with Ving Rhames, Lawrence Fishburne, and a few other people whose names I can't call right now. But man, everything in my life, none of it's been wasted. It has led me up to this moment where I'm getting ready to release a new CD. I mean, creativity is what my life has been about. It hasn't been about becoming, quote unquote, a megastar. I'm sitting up here with what is this? A Grammy nomination medal.
Wow.
2018. I had no clue this was coming. I mean, I guess the message is, if you find what you're supposed to be doing, the path you're supposed to be on, and you walk that path and you do it and keep doing it and doing it to the best of your ability, sometimes good things happen. Sometimes very good things happen.
Right. Okay, so now along that way, back when you were a child, I saw some pictures, man. I happened to grab one. This one here.
Yeah.
what was going on here?
I am not sure if that was one of the civil rights protests.
It was.
Okay. It could have been a sympathy march, which they conducted up in New York City for Selma. When the Selma crowd was crossing the Edmund Pettus Bridge, my folks were still up in New York, and they had me and my sisters in the middle of a sympathy march. You know how with the George Floyd killing, you got demonstrations and protests all over the country, that kind of thing. It was we were in sympathy with the marchers going across the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma.
So you've been busy all your life, man.
Oh, man. I do believe.
There's another one here. What age were you here?
Oh, God, I looked to be about 14 with that baby face, maybe 13.
And that's Miss Ruby D, and your sister was it?
Nora.
Nora Davis. Okay, all right. And One Life to Live. You stayed on that show, what, a couple of years, 2, 3 years?
I was on for a grand total of, I think it was just under 2 years.
Did you like it?
Huh? Oh, yeah, I loved it. I loved it. It was like getting a big allowance. You know, man, there's 2 ways you get paid on a soap opera. 2 ways. If you're a popular character and you work every day and everybody wants to see you, then you get paid per episode, and that could be a lot of money.
Right.
But if you are a character who people don't know how they feel about you yet, and the writers are figuring out what to do with you, then you don't get to work every day. So there's another way you can get paid, which is on an average number of days per week that you work.
Right.
And so it's a lower amount, but it's steady. And that's the way that I went on to that soap opera. And I stayed till I got fired. What
possibly could you have gotten fired for?
Don't ask me, brother. Don't ask me. But I got to tell you, there is goodness in that. For me, there was goodness in that because I needed that so I could get where I am. That's after One Life to Live and after Beat Street, when I was actually driving that taxi cab. Driving that taxi was teaching me the value of that money I'd been making when I didn't have it. And that was an important series of lessons. And I wrote stories about that experience. I do a lot of writing. I think of myself like my parents. They're known as actors, but my dad in particular thought of himself as a writer. And I find that in me. And there's more and more and more and more of it.
How did you all be so natural on the set of Beat Street, man? Because it seemed like y'all were. Did you know any of the guys before the movie?
No, I did not know any of those folks before the movie. I didn't know Radon Chong before the movie. There's one person I knew, and he was in the movie for a short time. Dwayne Jones, who played the college professor of Radon Chong, and a lot of people know him from the 1968 movie Night of the Living Dead.
Right.
Now, I had known Dwayne and operated in a theater company that he directed stuff in, and I met friends, all of who are dead now, friends who were writers and actors, and so I knew Dwayne, and that was it. All
that's crazy. Yeah, that's kind of crazy because in the movie, that was the one that you didn't like.
Yeah.
you didn't get along with him in the movie.
That's true. That's true.
Right. In actuality, everybody that that co-acted with you, man, it was like y'all were friends or family before, man. Even down to the set of when your brother. I was at the house. You had been out all night with Radon Chong, and you came home and they were asleep, and y'all got into it in the bed. And told
Robert Taylor.
Yeah, told him to get out.
That's right. He's asked me what was she like, and I told him just shut your young mouth. Get lost.
Yeah, man. That is an amazing movie, man. So after and again, there's some of my greats, man, that was in the movie, man. The DJs and all of that. And as you know, that's pictures from it.
Oh yeah,
right.
just a little bit. I wished I had known Africa Bambaataa better. I wish I had known the various DJs. Over the years, I got to talk to Crazy Legs a bunch later, but I used to see Crazy Legs and Robert Taylor and Kuriakin and all the guys from the Cruise. When they weren't shooting, man, they would be dancing, and they did amazing stuff when they weren't being shot.
Wow!
I saw them cats doing just move and move.
Hey, that's an amazing story, man, because that goes down in history. And as I told you when we were talking before, man, a lot of up artists, man, you know, big time artists, man, even DMX, man, that just passed. I was looking at that one of the last interviews he had, man, with Nori, and he said that Beat Street was one of his favorite movies, man. So you made history with that one, man. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna watch it again tonight. My wife might not like it, but I'm gonna turn it on again tonight.
Man, the lesson for me is no matter what you do, do it the very best that you can do it. Hopefully the best that it can be done, because you never know who it's going to reach, who it's going to touch. And maybe years later, they might come back to you and say, you know, you helped me turn a corner in my life. There was something going on.
Yeah, that's amazing, because that's exactly what happened. And is that transpired around that time, man. I was right in the decision of being my own person, or working a payroll job. And those movies back then helped me be a DJ. I'm a veteran DJ, man. I've been DJing ever since 1979. So that was one that helped me along my way. And as a matter of fact, I want to ask you a question about that. When you were in that movie, man, it looked like you were such a fine DJ, man. How did you do that so natural?
They had a guy named Tony. I cannot remember his last name. He was taller than me, but his hands were very similar to mine. And he taught me how to cut, to mix, to scratch. But I could never do it like he did it, or like the pros that I have seen do it. I could never do it that well, but I could get it good enough so like in a long away shot, my hands would at least look like I know what I'm doing. How to flip the record out, get it on the thing, how to line up the strobe lights, how to get it and do the little boom, 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 boom. I mean, they could have intercut my hands in that shot because they look like my hands, but they might have been Tony's because our hands were that similar.
That's amazing too, man, because you had the moves down. See, I'm a DJ, so I know you had the moves down. You moved just right, even when you took time and you grabbed the tambourine and you did the little thing with the tambourine and all of that, man. All of that was on cue. Everything was on point, man. All the way down to the audition. And when you passed by the audition, you had to perform at Roxy and all of that, man. Everything was right on time, man. Right on time.
It was directed by Stan Lathan, who you may or may not know is Sanaa Lathan's father.
Right.
She wasn't in the picture back then.
Right.
But, yeah, I know that my parents knew him. They knew his brother, Bill Lathan, a doctor. And like I said, my folks, Sydney and Harry, were supporting Black filmmakers and anything and projects right. That were representing Black folks, Latino folks, non-white bread.
And did you get that? I'm glad you said that. While you were doing the movie and during those times, I know you saw a lot change, and especially with the advocacy that your parents did, transitioning from, I guess, the late 70s all the way up to the 90s. What was it like, and how much of a change did you notice in that part of the industry with the racism and that sort of thing?
Okay. There were times when you look back at it, you could say, oh, it wasn't no racism. We're all here. We're all free. We're all equal. No, it wasn't always like that. Not at all. I remember being in the theater with black women who used to wear their hair in cornrows, and we'd be out partying in Harlem. But when they went on auditions, they had to cover those cornrows with wigs, cornrows and various kinds of braids. And then Bo Derek, the white woman, wife of John Derek, comes out in that movie 10 with cornrow braids. You know the sisters was not happy about that. So there was that element back then. It's like black folks had to be on their P's and Q's. There were times we needed to be as white as possible, as non-ethnic as possible. And then again, sometimes they wanted mammies. Sometimes they wanted little neighborhood thug, gangbangers and whatnot. So it has gotten better, but it has taken a lot of slow climbing to make that happen. I mean, I have to look all the way back to folks like Steppin' Fetchit. Understand, he is known as this old chuckling, shuffling Uncle Tom character, but yet that character made it possible for people to come behind him and incrementally, bit by bit, step it up a notch, and get more and more dignified roles. I remember there were times in the movies where a black man better not hit a white man. Mm-hmm. And then I'm looking in that movie my dad did called The Scalp Hunters. Yeah, he's up there with Telly Savalas and Burt Lancaster and Shelley Winters and all these folks. And he and Burt Lancaster were fighting, and my pops, boom, laid him down. They were in the middle of like a lake. Hit him. Right. Burt just kind of sank under the waves. Right. So I remember movies just before that where the black man has to say, well, he's about to fight a white man, and he has to say, well, it's not worth it, or something, or I don't believe in violence. He had to, so there's been a lot of evolving over the years to get to where we are. Wow. And you get big stars like Robert Guillaume. I don't know if was it Benson? There was a series called Benson. Right. These various big stars, they can get through, but they ain't letting masses of black actors who may never be stars. And it's still so difficult. At least it was then. It's getting bit by bit a little less difficult, bit by bit. But we got to keep our eyes open, got to keep our ears to the ground. And people, especially young black filmmakers, with people with projects, writers, now's the time to dig in. Now is the time to create those projects, because there are production companies that are aching for new audiences, for more black people. And that means they got to put more black people on the screen. Yeah, right. I was there when one black person might come on TV back in the 60s or something like that, and everybody in the house would come to look just because one black person was on it. So going all the way back, inch by inch, it has taken a lot to get where we are. I know it looks like we're running free and easy now, black folks, but we earned every inch of the ground that we have covered. We earned every inch of it.
Okay. Now, let's jump into one question before that. What made you not continue with acting as much as you did music?
Okay, maybe in an outward way, I see where you're coming from there. When I'm on stage now doing music, I constantly tell stories, and that's what acting is about. It is about the telling of stories, be it a whole cast full of people talking to each other, or one performer on a stage with a guitar or banjo telling a story to the audience. It's about telling stories. So I haven't truly let it go. I mean, if somebody calls me tomorrow and says, Gar, we got $5 million. We want you to play this. I say, I'll take it. I'm here. So I'm ready to do that. but this music allows me to create in a way that I feel is unique to me.
Okay, let's take a look at something here.
And when the white bootleggers got sent to jail, nobody couldn't come and go their bail except for Kokomo Kid. I'm talking about Kokomo Kid. When liquor got cut down, government almost shut down. They needed a bag man who looked like a rag man, who better than a black man to come serve the white man his hoochie pot liquor a whole lot quicker than the white bootleggers could do. Talking about Kokomo.
All right, so that's the storytelling that you're talking about right there.
Yes, it is. I wrote that piece, and Kokomo Kid in my story is this man who used to deliver coal to the White House. And he was also, he was the go-get-it man for the White House, meaning if they wanted some hooch, if they wanted some blow, some smack, it would go down there with the coal. And sometimes people wanted to get in the White House who couldn't be seen going through the front door. They'd go down through the basement, and then they'd come back out the same way. I'm talking about he was the purveyor of corruption, and he was less noticeable than the white bootleggers because they were everybody knew them, so they were getting busted. So they went to a secret bootlegger, and that was Kokomo Kid. Now, the rhymes, my son helped me with this. He helped me. He had me listening to so much rap, and I enjoyed the way the words bounce off of each other and the way the words rub against your ear. Yeah, I had, let me see. Oh God. Okay, it's hard to remember the words when I'm not doing the whole song, right. But I got heaps of words in this song. Oh God.
So you had to
I had to learn the rhythms from my son. He coached me, and then I wrote it based on the rhythms that he was.
Wow, man, you steady dropping jewels, man. Because with that could bring a better relationship with the younger generation and the older generation. Now, things are so separated to where a father and a son barely knows each other in the same household. If they are in the same household, they barely know each other because the father has gotten to an age where he don't accept certain things that the son does. And the son is at an age where he thinks the father can't tell him anything because he's so old. So with that being said, you can take that, what this man just said, he had to learn certain things from his son to help him in his field in music. So that's a jewel that you dropped.
Man, we used to go on long drives when I'd be on the road playing music, playing blues, going all over the place. We drove across the country. We've driven from San Francisco to New York. When he was a kid, he would come up with these rap CDs, and some of them, boy, was rough. I mean, talking about women and your mama and your sister like no woman needs to get talked about. Some of it was rough, but some of it was good. Now, I have a neighbor who said to me back then that his son brought home a rap CD, and he took that. He had forbidden him to have any of those, so he threw it away unopened. He threw his son's CD in the garbage unopened. Me, I promised myself that no matter what, I would listen to everything that he asked me to listen to at least once. If I didn't like it, I would at least say why I didn't like it. And if I did like it, I would say why I liked it. So that way I could be truthful to me and open with my son. I needed that. Oh, and I forgot the line. Let's see. Washington insiders want drugs and sex. It ain't about who's rich, but who connects. You got to know the ropes and who to go to. Who did your favors and who do you owe to? Office to office, I can hack your email. Find out if you like male or female. I keep secrets if you say so. But everybody knows you got to pay more to Kokomo Kid. So my rhyme came back to me. Like I said, listening to, as my son educated me and talked about something I'd never heard of, he called it a word salad, where the word, the words kind of almost leap on each other.
Right.
If you do it right. So yeah. Well, yeah, my son is part of me.
All right, so let's jump into Guy Davis, American roots musician. The transition from young to the older guy and in between. So when you got right. So when you got up to this blues era and you started with the guitar and the harmonica, what feeling, man, did you get on that stage that made you continue this thing? I heard an interview with you, and I forgot who it was, but I listened to an interview where you were talking about the comfortable feeling that you get when you're on that stage, man, and how you enjoy the music and you can speak and what. Explain that to the people. What feeling is that?
I imagine it's the same feeling Bobby Rush gets. And that's the feeling of just feeling at home. It's like I got a story to tell. And over years of experience, and sometimes good, sometimes not so good, I've learned how to tell these stories through music, in front of the music, behind the music, with the music. I've seen some of the best bluesmen. I saw Buddy Guy and Junior Wells back in the 60s when they still had straight hair before afros came out. Back in 1966, they called it the natural. In 1967, that's when they started calling it afro. Mm-hmm. Well, I saw these cats in 67 when they still had slick hair. And I guess they were in their 20s. I was just a teenager. So I love just the way that there's something so solid about the blues. And I was in a summer camp, and I was only maybe 15 years old. And they took a load of us to Boston, Massachusetts to see Buddy Guy and Junior Wells. It was an afternoon show, so there was no liquor drinking, but they put on a show, and they did it. Booker T and the MG's Hip Hugger. That was playing back then. It was 67, I think. And but when they played the blues, I felt grown up. I don't know how to explain it. It's just the music. It challenged me. It felt personal. And he could be talking about his woman or this or that and the other. Man, it made me feel more grown than just the music I could boogie to.
Right.
And so over the years, as I've grown, I think that along with the smarts, sometimes some wisdom accumulates. And I know who I love in the blues, man. I know who I like. It was the people who taught Buddy Guy and Junior Wells, people like Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf. Mm. I think that's the Pope and the King of the blues, respectively.
Wow.
Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf.
So there's this song, and I'm gonna play it a little bit later on. I got to pull it up. There's this song about 61. Where is that the same 61 that's in Mississippi?
Yep, 61 Highway, they call it, going all the way from Minnesota, I think, down through Mississippi. 61 Highway. And all the words are the longest road I know. First time I heard it wrong. I thought he said loneliest road I know. And that's the word that made me want to sing it. But it's about Highway 61.
Wow. And that goes all the way to Natchez, Mississippi. Actually, it goes all the way to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. But it goes down through Natchez, and it ends, sort of picks up right above Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So yeah, that's a long, long highway. And there's another one I want to present to the people here that I looked at. This one here.
My mother, tell her the shape that you find me in. Won't somebody please write my mother? Tell her to shake and you find me. Tell her to pray for me. Forgive me for the things I've done.
And that, man, my friend, is what they call the blues.
I had the blues that night. I had lost my voice. Just like the day or that day or the day before, I lost my voice. It was all I could do to make any kind of croaking sound. But yeah.
Man, that is crazy. Now, we got an on look at that. Ask the question. Did you spend any time with Prince?
No, I did not spend any time with Prince. And I know that as Beat Street was being shot and as it was in the process of coming out, that's when Purple Rain came out. And he just shot up like a star, like a firework, and just exploded. And just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I never got to meet Prince. I met one of the women he used to be up close with, Troy Byer. But I met her when she was a little girl because she was an actress in a piece that my parents produced.
Okay. Who was the most influential figure or artist or blues or it's just celebrity, period, that you can relate to outside of your parents?
Oh man, that's hard for me to answer that as one person. Mm-hmm. There's one artist I know who I cannot sing like in the least. It's Paul Robeson. Man used to sing this beautiful bass resonant voice. And people complain, well, he's too close to the socialists and the communists and the Russians. And he was going all over the world singing. And he was a mentor, not only to my father, not only to so many Black artists, but also to a Caucasian man named Pete Seeger, who was the environmentalist, the man who used to sing, Where Have All the Flowers Gone? And If I Had a Hammer, songs that he wrote. And I used to go to a summer camp run by Pete's brother. And that's where I first picked up on these acoustic instruments, these guitars and banjos and harmonicas and such. So I can say Paul Robeson, even though I never quite met him, but I've met so many people who did. I can say Pete Seeger. He was my mentor. I can also say there was a Black musician named Howard Armstrong. They called him Louie Bluey. He was a mentor to me. There was a storyteller named Brother Blue. He was a mentor to me. And these men who mentored me, these folks who mentored me, never knew that because I didn't tell them they were my mentors. I just kept coming and coming and coming and learning and learning and learning. And they always gave. So
all right. So now where do you perform mostly at? I saw a lot of material online, man. I actually, then I got to apologize about this, man. I actually didn't know you were that well known worldwide. So where do you do most of your performances at?
That's a damn good question. There was a time I thought it might be Canada because I was going up there, felt like every couple of weeks. There's a time when I thought it was England. I was over there so much I had to learn how to drive on the other side of the road because I drove myself all the way from the south of England up to the northern tip of Scotland. I have driven in Australia. It's hard for me to say where I perform the most, but I guess ultimately it's going to work out to be the United States. And it's more the Northeast. I don't get into Mississippi, you were asking me earlier, very often. I do get there, and I played at Ground Zero after it took a damn long time to get me there. But I played there. I played out west. I played down in the Florida area. But most of my playing tends to be in the north and the east.
Okay.
Pennsylvania, Ohio, New York, New Jersey, all up in there.
All right. And you're getting ready for a brand new CD as we speak. Mm-hmm. And then also, people, I want to invite y'all to go to his website. It is GuyDavis.com. That's UYDAVIS.com. And also, I want to invite you all to stop by Kokomo Kid's Tip Jar. What made you name the tip jar Kokomo Kid?
Well, that's because of the character. I have one CD from a few years back called Kokomo Kid, and you heard the song. In fact, you played a piece of the song.
Right.
And then I do a Facebook live cast every morning except Saturdays at 10 o'clock. And it's called Coffee with Kokomo. And this is, as a matter of fact, this here is the coffee mug. And I'm only on for like a half an hour, but I always do a couple of songs. We sing, we talk, we do a little coffee salute and just say hey to each other. And it's been especially good during these COVID times to keep me from going crazy.
Right.
And so there's a tip jar, there's mugs there, there's access to all of my music and even my one-person show called In Bed with the Blues, The Adventures of Fishy Waters. Oh, yeah. And this new CD, it's called Be Ready When I Call You. And that's sort of like, in my mind, I had the devil. You know, when people, they want fame, they want greatness, so they sign up. Well, okay, I'll give away my soul just so, you know, the whole world knows who I am. I get a lot of money and a lot of women. And then the devil says, okay, you got it now, but you be ready when I call you.
Wow.
You gonna cook your butt's going in the fire when I decide it is. And one of the songs on it has a video coming out. What is it? May something or other. The CD is coming out June 4th. Be ready when I call you. But one of the songs is called God's Gonna Make Things Over. And it's about the Greenwood, Oklahoma, the Tulsa, Oklahoma race massacre of 1921. Okay. And so my son's a filmmaker. Marshall is his name, and he shot me in a video. And so that's going to be out, I guess, in a few days.
Okay. All right. I want you to make sure you send me a link to the morning show. Okay. I want to check that out and possibly send that, spread that link around to my friends and people I know on social media and that sort of thing. And we check that out, man. And also send me a link where people can access and purchase your new material that's coming out. That new CD I got to get. And also I got to get one of your coffee mugs, man. So I'm going to support you on that. All right. I want to give you a chance here, man, to if there's anybody out there, man, you want to send shouts out to, man, or you got some last words before we get out of here, go ahead and do that now, man.
I'll start by reaching out to all of the young, Black in particular, but not exclusively, filmmakers, creators, writers, and actors. If you have the dream to do those things, then do them and do not be deterred by anyone telling you no. Follow those dreams. Follow the path. Find that path you're supposed to be on and put one foot in front of the other and keep going. Now more than ever is the time when Black folks are networking, and people all around the world of all races are networking and making themselves more visible. Now is that time. That is what I want to say to young folks in particular, and to all of us, old folks, bless you, because I'm one of you.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate having you, man. And I'm gonna reach back out to you, man. I got to get you back on here, man, here in the next 6 months or so, man, because you did a fantastic job and you got so much history, man, that we need. And I want to make for sure to let you know, man, that you are one of the kings, man, and stay doing what you're doing, man. And you are a great inspiration to me.
Thank you, Dr. Blakk.
All right, Too Black, Too Strong, Mega Blast. This is King's Corner, man, episode 19, man. I'm going out. Don't leave yet, y'all, because I'm going to show y'all one of my favorite scenes from B Street once again. I want to let you know, Mr. Davis, that my audience, man, is sending shouts out to you in the background over here. There's a guy that hung in there the whole time by the name of Chit Chat. Well, actually, I don't know if it's a guy or girl, but it's one of the onlookers. And Chit Chat says, thanks so much. And it's a personal friend of mine, DJ D-Lo from Mississippi, that hung in there with us as well, man. And he's sending his shouts out too. So, man, you are a true inspiration to all of us, man. But to my audience, I'm going to play some of these, a couple of things here. I think I got a piece here I want to show y'all from Beach Street. Yeah, here it is. And this is one of my favorite scenes. Let's see. No, well, there's an ad going to jump in there. So right after this little couple of seconds here, we're going to skip that, and then we'll jump back into it.
Thanks, brother. Yeah. When are you going to stop writing on the walls and make some money? When are you going to stop tagging the subway cars? When are you going to make your son legitimate? Legitimate shit.
Just tell him about all the money you gonna make with me and Kenny, man. Cause you know we gonna have album covers, posters, t-shirts.
Man, Charlie, you always talking that shit.
You're damn right.
Yeah, we'll talk about something else, all right?
Yeah, let's talk about bombing subway cars, Ramon.
And this is Mr. Davis about to pull out the microphone right here, y'all.
Talk about what a big goddamn deal you're gonna be, right? That's all you ever think about anymore, man. King of the hustlers, huh?
And you think like...
I went.
Oh man, they jumped in there with a commercial. But anyway, y'all, that's one of the movies, man, that brought him up, man. Beach Street, back in 1984.
84 it came out.
Yep, 1984. And this right here is "Loneliest Road That I Know" by Guy Davis.
City Greyhound buses, they don't run. Wow, you ought to go to West Memphis, baby. Look down Highway 61.
Now, where in the world did you get your history, man? How did you? Because the lyrics now, I'm not going to play the whole song here because it might get into a copyright strike or something like that. But where did you get your history to be able to record that song, man, with such truthness in it?
That song, first time I heard it, was being sung by Mississippi Fred McDowell. And like I said, there was one word that I thought I heard that's not in the song. I thought it was "Loneliest Road That I Know," and it's "Longest Road." That made me want to sing it. And I found that the more I gave myself to the song would resonate to other people. And history has been a very strong suit with my family. I have a story I tell. I ain't gonna tell the whole thing about the very first time I heard the word nigger. Excuse me for saying that without a little preamble saying that I'm going to use the N-word here for a moment.
It's all right.
A kid called me that when I was in like the first grade or something. I'm coming home and I had a piece of paper with a star on top. I'd done good. And some little white kid waved out a window and said, "Hey, you nigger." I didn't know what it meant. So I just waved back at him. I went home, and when I asked my parents what it meant, I remember they looked at each other like they were really disappointed and hurt. And they sat me down on one of their laps, and the other one went to the library. We had a library in our house. My parents had like bookshelves stacked with books, like a library. And they went out and brought back some books about African and American history, about names you call people when you want them to feel like they are less than you are. And they told me about that word. And I have all kinds of associations between that word and the blues. And we got black folks in our family. We got red people in our family. We got white people in our family. It's all mixed up. So I like to hear the story of a town, of a person. And that 61 highway, there's not enough I can say about it. I was asking, there's a line in that song, please see somebody for me. If you see my baby, tell her she's all right with me. That line tells me that the man singing it is in prison. And somebody's getting out. He says, please see somebody for me. If you see my baby. And I sang that song. And oftentimes when I started doing the blues, there were very few black folks in the audiences. Up in the North and in the East, it was mostly white people. And that doesn't mean I'm going to sing, give them any less of myself. I give them everything. And over the years, black folks have gotten more and more in number in my audience, and a lot of my contemporaries of acoustic blues too. The black audience has grown because it's not like blues, when it came back out in the 20s and 30s and 40s. This is a rebirth. Well, I found when I would sing that song, I would be asking, where are all the black folks? And then one day I played in a prison in near Bettendorf, Iowa, right near Highway 61. And I found the black people. They were in that effing prison. So I know this is just a very subjective comment. Some prisoners belong there and some don't. But I'm thinking, I've been playing this blues all this time for white people, and I get black folks in the audience. Why is it in a prison? This is like a number of years ago. So that song takes me places that I don't even sing about specifically. I don't have the words in that song, but that's what's going through my mind when I'm singing it.
Pleasure to have you, brother. Peace and love, man. And we'll talk to you pretty soon. I thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. And I sent you that show information on the
chat.
chat.
I dropped it down in the bottom of the stream. I'll see you later, brother. Love you, man. Take care.
You got it.
Are you tired of being sick? Are you tired of the doctor's appointments? Are you tired of taking medicine? Have you tried Herbal Blessings?
Too black.
Did you know that dark spots on your cheek or the back of your neck is the sign of pre-diabetes? If your answer is no, visit Herbal Blessings. This is Dr. Asiatic Blakk. If you are interested in a healthy, natural way to prevent illness like diabetes, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol, then visit Herbal Blessings at 614 North Ferry Street in the Ferry Street Historic District.
Also, we have a new location in the North Park Mall, second floor kiosk.
This is Asiatic Blakk telling you about J&A. J&A Security Consultants, offering top-of-the-line firearm training from a certified instructor. Our goal is to instill confidence in our clients' ability to defend themselves, making competent, responsible gun owners that will empower them to be heroes. JASC is proud that our instructor we have helped train and license over 150 responsible gun owners in the state of Mississippi. Choose JASC. We will get you on target.
Too strong.